Hey guys, welcome back to the Bayside Fabrication YouTube channel. We're doing a little late night wrenching here. The wife and the kid are asleep and we are tackling this car for the first time. And what we're actually doing is just raising the car a little bit. The front seems to be okay, but the rear here, I mean, it's just too slammed. I mean, this, you know, here, I mean, and look at this. It hits everything but the lottery. So I'm just gonna raise it up approximately ½ an inch. Now, what I did was I was able to measure the car at normal ride height, and this is just how I kind of got a rough idea. Just from the ground to here, we got like 25½ inches. So what I did was just jacked it up, and we're not getting crazy, but maybe a little lower, somewhere about there. I mean, that still looks good. The tire is a little bit tucked in the fender well, but it gives it a nice profile. And let's see how high that is. That was only ¼ inch. And that little jack is probably another ¼ and honestly I can't even really tell the difference between the two. So we're gonna go with the higher setting, which is 25. So we're figuring we're gonna raise it up on the coils ½ an inch. I mean, it's just, you know, Florida roads are pretty flat and everything, but this car is too low. So I don't want to stress about pulling into parking lots and being that guy. I did that when I was 16. That sucks. I mean, we can still drive a pretty well slammed looking car without getting ridiculous here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise the back up ½ an inch for now. The front actually appears like it's actually a really good height. I mean, it just looks proper. So the rear was just tucked a little more than I wanted to. So we're going to raise the rear up and just see how it looks. But yeah, that's too much. So, and then while the wheels are off, we're going to adjust the side skirts because these are, so those are a little goofy. And we're just going to start picking away at this thing. Just little things like that. I'm going to see what's up with the front bumper, if it's something that I want to paint, fix and paint, or if I just want to buy a new front bumper. I mean, there's options. So someone put tape on there like a knucklehead. So we'll see how that looks when that tape comes off, see what the damage is. But for now, that's what we're doing. But man, I love this color. This is such a good color. I couldn't think of anything better. It actually, in some lights, like in the darker lights, it's purple. In the lighter lights, it's blue. And I'm digging it. It looks good with all this combination here. All right, guys, very basic stuff here. So this car has H-Darn coilovers on it, which are actually really nice coilovers. And they just use basic spanner wrenches. So what I did was just raised it up ½ an inch. Very simple. I'm not going to bore you with any details because it's about as boring as it sounds. So guys, I think this is it. I raised it ½ an inch, and you can see the tire just really perfectly fills the wheel well, which is what I'm going for. You know, I'm not trying to get a stanced car here, even though this car is freaking low as hell. But yeah, that's actually ½ an inch higher in the rear. I left the fronts because they weren't bad. The fronts can actually be spaced out a little bit. I think that might give it a little better look, but well, it's the next day and the rear definitely looks better. I mean, it's still low, obviously, but That 1/2 inch is a big 1/2 inch on this car, I think. So I'm pretty happy with that. Waiting on my corner light to come in. All right, guys, so another thing I want to address is, I got my helper here. Got a little fan blowing on her, and I just took off. There's a really distracting window tint, like down halfway down. Not halfway down, 6 inches down on the top of the windscreen, and I'm so tall that it is really distracting to me, so I took that out. But we got this obnoxious sub box in here that I'm gonna pull out. I'm not a big stereo guy, and honestly it's ugly and just adds weight at this point. So I'm gonna see what it takes to pull that out and see if there's a better solution to put the speakers. If not, we'll just ditch them. All right, just got the speakers in the box removed. Man, this is just a big box. It's pretty stupid, but speakers are nice. These are nice Memphis 8-inch speakers. So maybe we can repurpose them. I think what I'll do is, you know, I'm not opposed to having a little something in here, but that was just obnoxious. It took up, hey kiddo, it took up this whole area here, which I know it sounds crazy, but I do plan on trying to find a baby seat just so she can come to car shows and stuff. All right, you want to go to car shows with Dad? She can come to car shows and stuff with me. Yeah, that took up a lot of space, and this was in here too, which we'll just, I already broke the tab, but that's for visual effect. Oh, it's actually a real GT3 emblem. I shouldn't have broke it, I guess, but there it is. So we'll get rid of that because that's ridiculous. This car is definitely not a GT3. And it actually had a GT3 badge in the back at some point. Someone who knows this car said, yeah, I used to run around the GT3 badge. And yeah, that's late 90s, early 2000s tuner. They'd put badges all over. I mean, they still do. I mean, look at the M badges. So I guess I can't say much, say that they still don't do it. But yeah, so we're just gonna go through here, you know, try to get this carpet cleaned up a little bit and see if we can kind of, there's some holes here from when they put that badge and whatever, but I don't really care about any of that kind of stuff. All right, guys, check this out. One of my first projects, and this is kind of important to me, is being able to get my daughter to safely ride in this car. Now, this is obviously not going to be a daily drive or anything like that, but I would like to bring her, you know, along with me to car shows or something like that. Maybe she'll ride it once a month. But what I need to do is make a riser for these seats. So as you can see, the seats back here are pretty much non-existent. So what I did was I built a frame. So this frame here bolts into, I'll show you right now, bolts into the SOC seatbelt mounts. So this frame here utilizes the seatbelt mounts, which is one right here, one right there. And then I welded on these D-rings for the quick connects on the seat. So, and you'll see once the car seat's in here, it actually sits perfectly rear facing. Forward facing is really not an issue with these cars, but I'll probably just leave this for forward facing as well because it's gonna work just as fine. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I am making a top for it just because once it's bolted in, I'm just gonna leave it in the car even when she's not in it. So it's gotta look good, right? So check this out. I actually just have a couple more dimple dies left. But this is gonna be the top of it, which is pretty cool. So let's just knock one out while we're here. So we have our dimple dies all done here. Came out pretty good. And I'm just going to weld this right on the top. So we'll just stitch weld it a little bit with the TIG, and that's gonna be done. So that's kind of gonna be a cool little seat. and it's just kind of a cool little thing. I've been doing it during her naps during the day, so I watch her 3 days a week. So she naps like, I don't know, for an hour twice a day, so 2 hours a day. So this is just something little I picked away at. The next project is the window regulator for the driver's side, but that was kind of my priority. There's actually a car show at Freedom Factory at the end of the month I really want to go to. So that's kind of my goal, is to get that done so she can go with me, so I can go. Get the front bumper fixed and painted, and get the side skirts repainted and refit. So I did get the new clear corner markers. They were cheap. They were like 40 bucks. It's one of those eBay deals, but they fit great and they look actually pretty good. Let's see if we can fire them up here. They're almost a little too bright, but they work. They get the job done. Cheap and cheerful. All right, I'm gonna get this baby seat welded up and painted, and I'll install it in the car. Well, here's the finished product. Just gotta degrease it and install it. Oh, degrease it, paint it, then install it. Well, here it is, guys. The final painted product. A little dimple dye action. Came out nice, so it'll look good in there when the baby seat's not in there. It looked like a little, I don't know, race car piece of equipment or something. But yeah, it's gonna work really good for the baby seat platform. So I'm gonna get it bolted in right now, and we are on our way.